it's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and today I'm checking out Brewmaster Beer Brewing Simulator, which by all appearances is exactly what it sounds like. It is a game where you get to take on the role of a brewmaster, brewing various kinds of beers. You can pick the styles, decide what goes into them. You can customize your brewing space and equipment. It looks really, really cool. And of course, many of you know I am a big fan of craft beer. I've done a number of tasting videos here on the channel, and on each of my Twitch streams I try out a new craft brew. And so a video game about brewing beer is pretty much made for me, especially because I'm a fan of these sorts of simulator games as well. And this one appears to have some really chill vibes just based on the main menu here. We've got a cozy fireside scene with a warm hearth and a cozy armchair over on the right side there, and wood-burning stove. I'm loving this game's vibes already, and we haven't even started. So, despite being a big fan of craft beer, I actually know very little about brewing craft beer, and I'm hoping that I might learn some stuff along the way here. So sit back, relax, and let's brew some beer together, shall we? Shout out to the publisher of this game, by the way, for providing a key for me to check it out here. This game just launched on Steam. You can check it out down below in the video description. There's a link there. As an introductory, launch offer, I believe it's 10% off. So I think it's around $15. It's really not too much. So if you like what you see in today's video, make sure you head on down there and check out that link to pick up Beer Brewing Simulator on Steam. All right, let's start a new game. Let's see what this is all about. Okay, so it looks like we have two modes. Brewmaster mode. In this mode, you'll learn to brew good, complete jobs, and enter competitions, and progress through a story that'll make you a true brewmaster, recommended for new players. That's me. Looks like there's also a free play mode though, but we will go with the Brewmaster mode. Okay, nice. Welcome, brewer. You're about to take your first steps into the world of home brewing, a world packed with creativity, discovery, and most of all, excellent beers. Brewing is an art with endless possibilities, where true mastery can take a lifetime. Yet at its heart, it's wonderfully simple. Anyone can pick up a brew pot, throw a few ingredients together, and create a tasty, thirst-quenching beer to share with friends and family. So that's exactly what you should do first. Let's get brewing. So our first goal is to brew a beer using the extract brewing method. Oh, interesting. We've got kind of like a little pop-up help here. Extract brewing skips the mashing stage, used to create fermentable sugars in all grain brewing, instead using malt extracts that already contain these sugars. It's consequently a slightly easier brewing process than all grain brewing, and best suited for those new to home brewing. Nice. Signed, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff. All right. So we do have a tutorial, and it looks like the game takes place in first person here, doesn't it? We are Oh, here's our cozy little scene from the menu. Sounds like we're taking little baby steps, doesn't it? Because I'm moving so slow, but lots of footsteps to listen. It's hilariously small baby steps. Alright, so yeah, we've got a tutorial here, and it looks like we have to head into this room here. Retrieve a small brew pot from the equipment cupboard. Oh, this is a nice kitchen area. Lovely. Okay, equipment cupboard is right here. X to open the cupboard. The storage screen is where you can retrieve equipment or ingredients that you own. The items shown depend on which storage area you've opened, which makes sense. Okay. To retrieve an item, select the item's icon, press the retrieve button. Ta-da! Alright, let's move down to our hotbar there. A 25-liter brew pot. The signs of use on this pot are not damage, but the honorable battle scars of a veteran. It has years of service yet to offer. Alright, oh, I see, and we've got it out here, because we've got it selected on our hotbar. Fill a brew pot with 21 liters of water. Place it in the sink, remove the lid, turn the tap. Okay, I see, there we go, let's place it. How do we remove the lid? Oh, Y, looks like. Okay, and let's run some water. Oh, we can see it filling. Wow. We got temperature to 2 decimal places. Holy cow. And it's slowly filling. You can use your watch left trigger to accelerate time. Oh, maybe. Oh, there it is, I see. Oh. Yeah, let's fill up a little faster. Can pause with Y. Cool, alright. Okay. So we need what, 21 liters, did they say? Yeah, 21 exactly, so we'll slow it down as we get close. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. Almost there. And right about there, I'd say. Oh, 20.95, so close here. Let's. There we go. 21 on the nose. Heat brew pot on the kitchen hob. So we remove it from the sink, place it on the kitchen hob, and turn the hob on. Okay, this water is not following the laws of physics, but that's okay. All right, and turn it on. Do I need to turn? Oh, there. Okay. Retrieve a can of malt extract. Whilst the water heats, we can add our first ingredients. Some ingredients need to be stored cold to maintain their freshness. These are found in the fridge freezer, whilst all other ingredients are kept in the ingredients cupboard. Retrieve 2 kilograms of any malt extract. We have amber malt or light malt. Malt extracts are syrupy liquids packed with fermentable sugars that yeast will eventually turn into alcohol during the fermentation stage. They'll also add flavors to your brew. Okay, so these are pretty similar, but the color influence of the amber versus the light is quite different, which makes sense. Because the amber is, of course, going to be a darker, richer color, but let's go with the light malts. Malty and sweet 4, crisp and clean 3. Light and crisp with mild malty sweetness. Great for pale beers and recipes where other flavors need to lead. Versus the amber malt, which is better for a malty kind of beer. Sweet malt and caramel dominate the flavor profile, the most overtly sweet of the extracts. I'm not such a big fan of ambers, actually. So yeah, we'll definitely go with the light malt. And we will take 2 kilos. Very good. Alright. We have to add it to the brew pot now. To pour an ingredient, look at the container whilst holding the ingredient and press X. So this is warming slowly, but it's a pretty gradual process, it looks like. Let's pour it. Oh, how do I? I've poured none of it. Oh. Oh. Okay, I thought maybe it was with the sticks, but no, I feel like I'm kind of missing. Like I'm missing the pot a little bit. But we gotta pour it all in, it says, so. There we go. Definitely some ASMR sounds going on in this game. I love it. We must retrieve a bag of steepable grain from the ingredients cupboard. Alright. Stow item. There. Let's open the ingredients cupboard. Steepable grains are kept in mesh bags so that they can be easily added and removed when brewing. They're used in extract brewing to add flavor, body, and color to your beer. So we want 500 grams of something. We have ultra pale crystal or Vienna crystal. So the ultra pale crystal is a bit maltier and sweeter, it looks like. Whereas the Vienna is not quite as sweet and adds a bit more color. Okay, and we've got the flavor notes as well. The ultra pale is fairly strong on the caramel and the honey and a bit nutty. Whereas the Vienna crystal is very strong on the caramel and the toffee and dried fruit as well. We'll add subtle notes of dark fruits in the background. That sounds yummy. Let's do that. And we need, what, 500 grams? Is that right? There we go. Okay, clip steepable grains to brew pot. To clip steepable grains, look at the container whilst holding grains and press X. So it's almost like a tea bag of grains, I guess. A tip: a wort is the name of the sugary liquid created either by adding malt extracts to water or in all grain brewing by mashing grains in hot water. We are doing the former, of course. Notice we have an X-ray view when we look at this pot. What does that do for us? Oh my gosh. Wow, there's a lot of simulation going on here. Look at this. Fermentable sugar content. Contamination. All kinds of like nutritional, wow. Okay. This is serious business. Alright, let's place this. There we go. Continue heating the brew pot until the wort is boiling. Around 100. Which is going to take some time. So let's use our watch to speed things up. There we go. 100 times speed. This is a slow pot to boil. Maybe it's because we're watching it. What do they say about watched pots never boiling? will boil though soon. I guess it is 21 liters of water. You know, that takes time. Definitely takes time. And you can actually see the time on the watch, of course, right? You know how it progresses there. Okay, we're almost there. As we're approaching 100, it's actually slowed down a bit. Interestingly. Guess that's real physics. I honestly don't know. You notice the total liquid content is dropping slightly over time because, because it's boiling, right? Some of the water's boiling off. Now the wort is boiling, although we're not quite at 100 yet, but time to add another crucial ingredient, hops. Retrieve 1 bag of bittering hops and 1 bag of British hops. Don't know what the difference is. Let's see. The main 2 purposes of hops are to add flavor and bitterness to your beers. The amount of bitterness is determined by the alpha acid content, AAC. The higher the AAC, the more bitterness the hops will add. I did not know this. The longer hops are boiled, the more bitterness and flavors they'll add. But flavors begin to boil off after a time, whilst bitterness continues to climb. This is why bittering hops exist. These are mainly used for bittering and are boiled for longer, whilst flavor hops are added near the end of the boil. We want 20 grams of any bittering hops and 50 grams of any British hops. We've got Polar Down for our British hops. And Ruggle. Crisp and clean, fruit and spice, grassy, woody, earthy, minty, and floral. The most famous British hop, used in many classic styles. A full-bodied profile with earthy, woody, grass, and mint notes. The Polar Down, dual-purpose variety hops with a crisp and clean character emphasized by pine and cedar notes. Let's do that. That sounds a little different. It's definitely more bitter. It's got a higher AAC percentage. But that's okay. I think we're making maybe some kind of pale ale situation here. Not quite sure, but we need 50 grams of that. Okay, and for the bittering hops, Magnus, mild, peppery, spicy fruit notes are the only aromatic contribution of this bittering varietal. Much higher AAC, 14%. Or Marauder, bred to be disease resistant, tolerant to storage, and easy to harvest. Bitters cleanly with minimal aroma. What do you think? Let's do some Magnus. I feel like that would pair well with the Polar Down because they both add sort of fruity, spicy notes. So let's try that out. I want 20 grams of bittering hops. Okay. Add the bag of bittering hops to the boiling wort. That's this one. There we go. Use your watch to accelerate time, then after 50 minutes, add the second bag of hops. Keep boiling the wort throughout. So it should be, I guess it's boiling. I mean, it told me it was, so it doesn't really look like it's boiling, but I hope it is. Otherwise, we're not doing what we gotta do. 50 minutes. Okay, we're at 12:07, so just before 1 o'clock. Let's speed up time again. So just before 1 o'clock. slow it down a little bit here. I guess we want 157 or 1257. Right about here. Alright, let's place our flavor hops. There we go. Continue to boil for another 10 minutes, then remove all bags and turn off the hob. To remove an ingredient bag from a container, look at the bag and press X. Okay. So by 107, we've got to remove everything. Let's move it along a little bit here. Oh, shoot. Overshot slightly. Well, only slightly, I guess. Alright, let's take them off. Okay. And then turn off the hob. There we go. Wait until BrewBot is at 21 degrees. Wow, that's going to take a while. It has very slowly started to cool. But let's... It says here eventually you'll gain access to wort chillers, tools that greatly speed up the cooling process. Well, that's good because this is going to take some time. It's vital to cool the wort before adding yeast. Use the calendar to advance time by a day. I see. Okay. Okay, yeah, 1 day. Let's advance it. Okay. Retrieve fermentation container from the equipment cupboard. That's over here. Fermentation containers can be found here. Fermentation containers are used in the fermentation stage of brewing, when yeast turns sugars into alcohol and CO2. Note the attached airlock. This is so that CO2 can escape, preventing any unfortunate container explosions. Yeah, we certainly don't want that. Compact in size and great for space-conscious brewers. This has the same key features as its larger cousins. Very good. Okay. While holding the brew pot, look at the fermentation container and press X to pour. Hold on a second. Wait, what? While holding the brew pot, so we have to place this thing somewhere maybe? Where do we put it? Place item. Oh yeah, okay, we can just do that. And then we gotta pick this up. Make sure lids are off on both containers. Oh yeah, fair. Okay, there we go. Let's pick up our brew pot. And let's pour. Not enough space. Why not? Okay. Let's move our... Maybe it was just getting too close to the wall or something. There we go. Okay, yeah, I think we were just too close to the wall or the shelf or something. So let's dip it. Do we want to pour it all? Yeah, I think we want it all. Got it. We now need to retrieve a packet of yeast from the freezer, or the fridge freezer. Alright, let's stop pouring. Can just put that back on there for now. Yeast is used during the fermentation stage to produce alcohol and CO2. Yeast is crucial to the brewing process as it turns fermentable sugars into CO2, and best of all, alcohol. It will also add its own unique flavors to your beer during this process. Attenuation is the yeast's efficiency, how much of the fermentable sugars it will convert into alcohol and CO2. The remainder will become unfermentable sugars. For yeast to ferment, the wort must be within its optimal temperature. Outside of this, the yeast will start to hibernate or even die. This is why cooling the wort before adding yeast is vital. Okay, so we have a couple types here of American ale yeasts or British ale yeasts. This is SoCal Ale 1 or mild ale. A very low attenuation for commercial yeast, resulting in a slightly malty sweet beers. Produces unusual woody esters. Okay. Or the American yeast. No flavor notes to compete with hop and malt contributions. Allow this clean tasting strain to work in any style. They both have similar optimal temperatures, although the American yeast likes it a little warmer. Let's go with the American ale yeast. I like the idea of a clean, slightly spicy pale ale. Alright. Pour all the yeast into the fermentation container and then close the lid. Tipping it's a little slow sometimes. There we go. In it goes. And now our lid right on top. Okay, there we are. And now we wait 15 days. Fermentation is a slow process. Time to use the calendar. Here we go. Let's wait 15 days. Feels like I'm waiting in Skyrim or something. Fortunately, there are no enemies nearby. Retrieve a bag of corn sugar from the ingredients cupboard. Now the fermentation is complete, it's time for the final step, conditioning your beer. Okay. What is this? Corn sugar, used by many large commercial brewers as a cheap and reliably available food for the yeast. Alright, we've got it. Adding the corn sugar will allow the yeast to continue fermenting on a smaller scale during the conditioning stage. Natural carbonation is where sugar is added to the beer after the primary fermentation, so the yeast can create carbon dioxide to carbonate the beer. Cool. I guess that's the conditioning process. 150 grams of corn sugar. Okay. We will need to, I guess, remove the lid. And we will need to pour some. We want to pour 150 grams. Okay, we went a little over, but not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, do we want to put the lid back on? I'm not sure. Let's throw it on for the moment. Retrieve plastic barrel and a tube from the equipment cupboard. Okay. Right here. Conditioning containers are used in the conditioning stage of brewing where the beer is carbonated. A sealable plastic barrel in which beer can condition and from which it can be dispensed via a tap once it's ready. That's the best part. To transfer your beer to the conditioning container, you'll need a tube. You can find tubes in the flow control category, my goodness. Tubes are used to transfer liquid between containers. It can also be attached to the sink tap. Gravity plays a key role here. The target container must be lower than the source of the liquid. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes good sense. Okay. Place the barrel on a lower surface. So we'll just have to put the barrel on the floor, I guess. There we go. Connect a tube between them somehow. How does one? Oh, tap, connect tube. Okay. And then to here. Yeah, like that. A little glitchy. I don't know how to rotate containers, but we'll just have it cut right through. This is the counter. Well, it says here, if the transfer doesn't work, make sure the tap is open and the conditioning container is lower. Well, how do I open the tap? Oh, hold X to detach. No, we're attached, so that's good. Oh, I can rotate with left bumper and right bumper though. No, sorry. Oh no. Maybe? No, it doesn't want to rotate after the tubes are attached. That's fair. Okay, we want to open the tap here though. X. Is it doing it? I don't think it's doing it. Okay, let's try this again. Let's close. Oh, wait. Probably need to open the tap on both. There we go. Okay. That makes sense. So it's slowly transferring. I wonder if it would transfer faster if we took the lid off. Because I feel like... Did that speed it up? Might have. I feel like having the lid off means that there's not suction, right? Okay, let's speed things up a little bit. Okay, I guess that's all our liquid. Close the barrel's lid, then wait 20 days. I think it was closed the whole time. Put the lid back on our fermentation container though. Leaving the lid on ensures the CO2 is not lost. Conditioning is another slow process. Use the calendar. Okay, lid's off. Lid's on. Okay. Should we detach the cable? Probably. Let's do that. There we go. I figure that way we don't lose any CO2 through the tube either. Okay. 20 days. Here we go. Okay, it's time to taste and package our beer. Time for all your hard work to pay off. Bring the barrel to the taps in the tasting room and give your beer a try. Once a conditioning container has been packaged, the beer inside can no longer be changed. That makes sense. Item is not heat tolerant, thank you. Yes. Don't put it on the stovetop. Here we go. We'll put our I guess X to taste beer, okay? Oh, that looks very nice. Okay, so we are left with a pale ale, medium carbonation, small batch size, a slightly hazy clarity. That color is lovely though. It's a little darker than I would have expected actually. That looks really good. I want to try it for real now, you guys. I want to know what this would taste like. Oh, is this game gonna get me to start doing like hobby brewing? It might. Oh, page 1 of 4. Oh, we've got more. Okay, Continue. Okay. It is just... Okay. It is clean and crisp, very crisp and clean. It is fairly malty and sweet. It's maltier and sweeter than it is hoppy and bitter, but that makes sense given the ingredients we started with. What does off mean? Does that mean that I did something wrong? A little bit of fruit and spice flavor. Aroma and flavor notes. Caramel, toffee, cedar, pine, floral, and 4 more. The dried fruit, yes. Berry, and really no pepper or herbal notes though. But a well-balanced beer, I would say, overall. I like that this game's not in a hurry to do anything, really. It's actually quite zen. So it is closest to a British strong ale, but not too far off an American amber or IPA. Okay. It's not super alcoholic, 4.7. Oh my gosh, I can mouse over each of these. Wow. Okay, so it's decently bitter. 56 IBUs. Original gravity is a measure of viscosity, I believe. Well, density, I suppose, but I think in the in terms of mouthfeel, that's where that comes in. Oh no, I lied. I guess that's body. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Body is affected by protein carbonation and dissolved ingredients and sugars. Yeah, so this is a light beer. It's going to be crisp and light on the palate. I'm not sure how original gravity manifests in terms of like the flavor or the mouthfeel though. Well, I'd say that's not bad for a first beer. I would drink that as described. That sounds really nice. Very sessionable. Alright, we get to package it now. The packaging screen is where you can name your finished beer, choose its style, and also design a label for the bottle. Very good. Okay, beer name. What are we going to call this, you guys? We're going to call this... how about... it's gotta be ASMR. I mean, it's fairly carbonated and it's fairly light. We're gonna call it Sweet Tingles. Sweet Tingles beer. Nobody would drink something called Sweet Tingles. Except for you guys, maybe. Alright. I love it. A British strong ale, that is apparently what it most closely matches. Bottle style, we've only got the one to pick from so far, so it's a nice looking bottle though. Many different glass types, but a tulip glass is really nice for tasting. So, wow, there's notes on each of these. Tulip glasses are all about the aroma. They hold the head and focus the aromatics while encouraging movement of the beer with a gentle swirl, classically paired with Belgian styles. Goblet as well. A beer mug, IPA glass, a Nonic pint. When British folks talk about drinking pints, this is the glass they're most likely thinking of. Indeed. You know, it might be solid for a pint glass, though. You know what? Let's go with the classic pint glass. Oh, that looks good. That looks real good. Wow, there's a label editor, huh? Oh my gosh. Look at all these options, you guys. Holy cow. This is really cool. I am amazed. with all the options. We could have a cute bunny on it. Or a mountain. Lots of options. Illustration. Positioning, gradients. Oh my gosh, look at all the customization. This is ridiculous. I guess the templates are sort of pre-made ones. Let's go with the hop. Actually, that's not really a great choice because it's not that hoppy. Let's go with... Yeah, that looks good. That looks like something you'd find in Skyrim. Very good. 4.7%. Sweet Tingles British Strong Ale. Lovely. Okay. Well, cheers, my friends, to our first beer. When you're ready, advance to the next season. Congratulations on brewing your first beer. Feel free to experiment further. When ready, move to the front door to advance to the next season. In the next season, you'll gain access to recipes, jobs, and much more. And here is our bottle. Let's rotate so we can see it properly. There we go. Let's place it down on the... Ta-da! Can we sit down? No, we can't. Well, friends, I really enjoyed that. That was much more in-depth than I expected, I must say. The level of simulation going on here is really quite impressive, and it's clear that the developers put a lot of work into really capturing what it's like to brew a beer. This is clearly a labor of love, and this is no, sort of halfway job. Like, they've really gone all the way in terms of letting you pick your ingredients, controlling every part of the brewing process, and even right down to the labeling and the aesthetics. And I can tell that they really thought about what are the essential parts of a beer brewing experience. What do you really want to be able to do to live that fantasy, to experience that fantasy, or reality. If you brew your own beer, maybe you already do that. And we've just barely started, barely scratched the surface here, you guys. This is just the tutorial, but it sounds like there's a whole career mode, and I'm sure countless other kinds of ingredients and options for, different styles and different flavors and all kinds of things. So I'm absolutely going to play more of this. I would be happy to play it on the channel some more. If you guys would like to see that, please let me know in the comments. But I would really like to play some of this on a Twitch stream, because I think it would be really fun to make some of these decisions together on a stream. So I think I might do that as well. And if you would like to play it for yourselves, you absolutely can. Check it out at the link down below in the video description. It just launched on Steam. It is currently, at the time of recording, 10% off, and will be for the next week or so. So now's a great time to grab it if you're interested. It's only about $15, and I must say I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far, and I'm looking forward to trying out more. Thank you so much for joining me here today, my friends. I do hope you enjoyed this. All the beer brewing. I got a little bit nerdy with the beer stuff, but I like that. Maybe you learned something. I absolutely did. I think I learned more about brewing and beer in this little tutorial than ever before, honestly. And it was all nice and ASMR-ish too. Lots of very chill sounds. Lots of kind of relaxed pace. Really, really good. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate you watching, and I look very forward to having you back here next time. farewell for now, my friends, and cheers.